Jamie, is this the biggest match of the season so far?
Yeah, I think so. There has been a few big ones. I think Liverpool-Chelsea last week was, but I think a lot of people now have been talking since the start of the season that it's City and Liverpool for the title. So I think the two games involving both clubs in the Premier League this season could go some way to deciding where the title goes. I think it's that important now. I think the top 6 head-to-heads, I think, could decide the top 6, the Champions League places, and this one could, as I said, decide the title.
Which Liverpool player has impressed you most so far this season?
I'd say Virgil van Dijk. I think Liverpool look really solid. They have done since he's come in, but I think the start of this season, the defensive record is really good now. And it's not just that, it's the goalkeeper we've got, almost a world record signing, hasn't had too much to do. What he's been asked to do, he's done well in the main, but I think Van Dijk being there, I think when opposition teams now look at Liverpool, they don't see that weakness defensively that they've seen before in Klopp's team. So I'd say Virgil van Dijk, because the front three who've been absolute superstars for Liverpool, certainly last season, aren't quite firing on what we've seen last season. I'm sure that'll come in the coming weeks and months, but certainly at the other end of the pitch, they're doing the job.
And from Manchester City's point of view, which player has impressed you the most?
I think same old faces, really. I think you think of Aguero, you think of last season goals. I think Sterling's been in the goals this season. David Silva in that midfield position. Still no Kevin De Bruyne, who was the standout player, I think, last season. But I think they've sort of gone under the radar a little bit, City, because we expect them to be so good. The start of the season has been unbelievable. You know, only dropped 2 points, but we just expect that from City now because of last season, whereas people are talking more about Liverpool's start of the season and maybe Chelsea's with a new manager also, but you know, what a start City have made as well.
How do you reflect on what happened at Anfield last season? Those 3 goals in the space of, 10 minutes in the second half, turn it from 1-1 to 4-1.
Well, that's what Liverpool do. When they've got you, certainly at Anfield, they can score goals very quickly. They did exactly the same to Man City in the Champions League as well. And I think they are the one team in the Premier League who actually believe that they can beat City. I think most of the division, certainly the other top teams, hope they can beat City. I think Liverpool will be going into the game against at Anfield believing they'll win the game. It'll be a very tough game for both sides. But the way Liverpool's set up, the way they play, Jurgen Klopp seems to have Pep Guardiola's number, if you like, since he's come. And maybe even back in the Bayern Munich, Borussia Dortmund days, it's been quite tight as well. So I think both managers know they're in for the game. But I think for Liverpool, if they could win that, I think huge. Points-wise, of course, but I think psychologically in terms of believing that they can win the title.
Do you think that with the 3 victories, actually the 2 in the Champions League and the 1 in the Premier League, that Liverpool do have a psychological edge going into this match against City?
I think what I just mentioned there in terms of belief, I don't think psychologically City feel like they can't beat Liverpool or they can't play their game because they're a top side and they can go anywhere and play how they play and win games. So it'd be a really difficult game for Liverpool. It's more going into the game. I think Liverpool, unlike any other team in the Premier League, believe if they play well, they'll win. I think most sides think that even if we play well against City, they're just too good for us, we'll still get beat. And that's got to change. I think if the rest of the league want to stop City dominating the Premier League for the next 3 or 4 years under Pep Guardiola, I think a lot of teams have maybe got to look at Liverpool, maybe the way they set up against City, and maybe also look at the belief that they have in these games that they can win. But that only comes from getting results, of course, and maybe it'll give confidence to the rest of the league, because if other teams don't, I think, see what Liverpool do or maybe try and replicate it, I think the rest of the league will have a problem in terms of stopping Man City.
Last season, how much of it was down to the players and how much of it was actually down to Jurgen Klopp?
I think it's a bit of both. They have to implement his style, his ideas, Jurgen Klopp, but there's no doubt that the high press and aggressive is perfect for Liverpool, certainly at Anfield on that tighter pitch than normal, what we see other teams play on. In terms of playing that way against Manchester City, there's been a debate now all last season. Do you really go for City or just sit off them? It's difficult because whatever you try, they're so good, they win the game. And Liverpool are the only one who've had, you know, a little bit of success. Okay, they've lost the odd game. I think United beat them also last season, the odd game in the Champions League, even this season also in the Champions League. So there's no set way of stopping Man City. Liverpool have a way of playing, not just against City, but against everyone. And at the moment, that looks like it's causing City problems. But I don't think for 1 minute Pep Guardiola is going to fall into that trap again. he may do something different to counteract it, and that's what you get when you get these top managers.
There was, 25 points between the two clubs last season. Is it between Liverpool and Man City this season?
No, I wouldn't write off Chelsea. They have a great habit of winning trophies, certainly early in a new manager's reign. Spurs as well. After a bit of a wobble, they look like back. They're only 4 or 5 points off the top. I think it'd be difficult for Spurs to challenge for the title, maybe with the squad depth and how many players went to the World Cup. But I wouldn't write off Chelsea, certainly with Eden Hazard, the form he's in. But I think at this moment, the fact Klopp's been there a lot longer than maybe Sarri, Pep Guardiola's into his 3rd season also, and both sides looking, the real deal in this early stage, that you would say it would be between these two, with City being big favourites. I don't think anyone would deny that, considering what they did last season. I think they are the best team, but that doesn't mean Liverpool can't find a way of overcoming them in a one-off game and taking the title if City went on a huge Champions League run, Carabao Cup, FA Cup, injuries, these little things that you need a little bit of luck to go your way. So I think probably these two are the two closest, with Chelsea very close behind in these early stages.
Liverpool and City are the ones at the moment that everyone is talking
Liverpool,
about.
as strong as I can remember.
I think it's a two-horse race.
I like the look of them, I really do.
They might just come out on
I
top.
think Liverpool are the team that City really
I think
fear.
there's much more confidence in us going all
Liverpool,
the way.
I think, are the closest contender. They're going to go really close this
Probably
year.
the first time at the start of a season I've thought they have a genuine chance of winning the league.
Glorious football, stunning to watch. Manchester City can rip teams apart in the blink of an eye. Salah! Ruthless Liverpool. This is unbelievable.
Liverpool go top.
Masterful for Manchester City.
Wonderful Liverpool goal.
It is special. Emphatic from the champions.